News 5 tonight. A recap now of our big story. The MediShield Life Review Committee submitted its recommendations earlier this month. The recommendations are aimed at providing better lifelong benefits for all Singaporeans to cope with large hospital bills. The MediShield Life payouts will have higher claim limits, which means patients will pay less out-of-pocket expenses. Subsidized cancer patients, for example, will have increased claim limits for chemotherapy and radiotherapy treatments. Here's what you can expect. Increased daily claim limits for normal wards from $450 to $700 and $900 to $1,200 for intensive care unit wards. Reduced inpatient co-insurance from 10 to 20% to 3 to 10% and outpatient co-insurance from 20 to 10%. As well as higher annual claim limits from $70,000 to $100,000. Under the current scheme, 8 in 10 subsidized patients pay less than $3,000 for their Class B2 and C inpatient bills. But under MediShield Life, 9 in 10 will pay less than $3,000. For those with very large Class B2 or C inpatient bills, 1 in 10 will pay less than $3,000 under the current scheme, compared to 6 in 10 under the new scheme. The MediShield Life Review Committee also proposed changes to make integrated shield plans work better, among them allowing private IP insurers to risk load or charge higher premiums for those with pre-existing conditions. Also proposed developing key features for a standard integrated shield plan targeting at Class B1 wards.
Today, 6 in 10 Singaporeans have integrated shield plans. An IP is made up of 2 components, the basic MediShield Plan, which would transition to the MediShield Life in the future, and a top-up portion, which is managed by private insurers. The MediShield component will help with large bills at the basic Class B2 or C level in public hospitals. But with the top-up, policyholders get additional coverage for Class A and B1 in public hospitals or in private hospitals. Currently, 5 private insurers offer a variety of MediSave-approved IPs.
There were many concerns raised by Singaporeans about premium affordability of integrated shield plans and the confusion over the varying benefits offered by the 5 insurers. The committee has recommended to the government to work with the insurance industry to develop key features for a standardized integrated shield plan focused on providing coverage at the Class B1 level.
As of last year, about 21% of IP policyholders are on B1 plans. In response, the government says it will work with private insurers to review the landscape and features of IPs, including developing a standard IP with B1 coverage. The committee has also proposed that private IP insurers be allowed to charge higher premiums for insurance coverage of those with pre-existing conditions. The Health Ministry said Singaporeans who are currently on IPs will not be disadvantaged with the introduction of MediShield Life, and the resulting overall increase for IP premiums is expected to be the same, if not lower, than the increase in MediShield Life premiums. Another recommendation is for the government to consider improvements to the regulatory framework for IPs and IP insurers. For example, setting clearer guidelines in the selling and renewing of plans, as well as enhancing responsible selling requirements. There's also a need to step up public education efforts on healthcare finance and the concept of health insurance.
The education has to start with which ward do I want to go to. We have seen from statistics, even though they have bought certain plan, when they actually go to hospital, they went to a lower ward hospital. So the right buying, the buying at the right level actually wasn't present.
On employer medical benefits, the committee has suggested that the government strengthen incentives for companies which provide portable medical benefits that ride on MediShield Life for their workers. For instance, by improving corporate tax incentives or providing grants.